Right, today in our 210 focus lesson, we're going to have a couple of videos today, and our main focus is about tape diagrams and how to use tape diagrams to help us solve ratio problems. But before we do that, we're going to talk about a couple of different types of ratios, okay? So first one, we looked at problems similar to this yesterday when we're dealing with ratios. Gabriel buys a box of 15 apricots, and for every 3 apricots he eats, he gives 2 to Beverly to eat. So this is a 3-to-2 ratio, and the apricots, I'm going to label, we're going apricots, every 3 apricots he eats, so that is Gabriel, this is what he eats compared to what he gives to Beverly. So Gabriel to Beverly, he eats 3, she eats 2, and that's the ratio. So we could draw a picture of that model. We've done that a little bit yesterday. So we're going to actually more focus today on B and C and the types of ratios. The first one talks about writing a ratio to show the number of apricots Beverly eats to the number Gabriel eats. Okay, so you got to look at what we're comparing here. In this case, we're comparing Beverly to Gabriel. All right, so we call that a part-to-part ratio. Okay, you're comparing the 2 separate parts, nothing to the total. So in this case, if we want to compare what Beverly eats, we know Beverly is Beverly to Gabriel. We have to go in that order. So for every 3 apricots he eats, he gives 2 to Beverly. Well, they asked for Beverly first in this case. So we would give this from Beverly eats 2, then Gabriel eats 3. Again, it's this ratio. It's still 3-to-2, 2-to-3, but you have to go in the order that they ask you in. So you know, hey, Beverly gets 2, then Gabriel eats 3, and they can ask it in any order. But the most important part right now is knowing that that's part to part. All right. When you look at question C, now we need to write a ratio to show the number of apricots Beverly eats to the total. So now this is a part to. I'll write it down here, I guess. Part to whole, or we could look at it as part to total. So this changes a little bit with what we're looking at. Part to total is different than part to part. So in this case, the number of apricots Beverly eats, so I find Beverly, we know Beverly gets 2. And in this case, the total, we know there's 5. I have to add up. When he gets 3, she gets 2, so that's a total of 5. So Beverly compared to the total, it's a 2-to-5 ratio. Remember, we could also write these as a fraction look. And you can say the word 2 and write it out with that if you'd like to, but these are the main ways that you see it. But I really want you to focus on now part to part or part to total, because that's going to be important when we get into tape diagrams here in the next video.